Ever catch yourself wondering, is she just being friendly or is there something more going on here? Well, if she's married, that line can get blurry fast, but the signs are always there if you know what to look for. Today, I'm breaking down 8 crystal clear signs she's into you, even if she's wearing a ring. And trust me, sign 7, it's the one most guys completely overlook. So let's not waste any time. Here's what you need to know, starting with the first and most common clue. She's always finding excuses to be around you. Even if she's married, a woman who's into you will find subtle, almost innocent ways to be in your space. She'll offer to help with something you didn't ask for, linger longer in conversations, or show up where you are, even if it's inconvenient for her. For example, a colleague might suddenly need your help with a project you barely have expertise in, but she insists only you can assist. Or you notice her favorite coffee shop has coincidentally become your go-to spot, even though it's miles from her usual route. Why does this happen? Psychologically, attraction sparks a need for proximity. It's primal. Humans, whether consciously or subconsciously, gravitate toward what or who excites them. If she's bending her usual habits to insert herself into your orbit, that's not an accident. She's creating opportunities for connection while maintaining plausible deniability. But here's the kicker. She'll act casual about it, like showing up at the same gym class as you was purely coincidental. Sure, Karen, Pilates at 6 a.m. just suddenly appealed to you this week? If her physical presence isn't obvious enough, her next move is impossible to miss. Watch for the emotional breadcrumbs she leaves. Sign 2. She overcompensates when her husband is mentioned. This is where it gets juicy. If you bring up her husband or notice she mentions him, pay close attention. A woman who's into you might do one of 2 things. She'll either downplay her marriage, "Oh, we're more like roommates these days," or she'll overcompensate with praise. "Oh, he's great. He's just so busy all the time." Cue the nervous laugh. Why does she do this? It's the classic psychological defense mechanism of masking guilt with over-explanation. By overselling her marital bliss or undercutting it in oddly revealing ways, she's inadvertently highlighting you as a factor that's making her question her loyalties. Her brain knows this dynamic isn't appropriate, so she's working overtime to rationalize it. Picture this. You're at a dinner party, and she casually drops, "Steve is such a great guy. He even fixes things around the house when he's home." That loaded pause? It's her quietly inviting you to notice the cracks in her story. If her words don't tip you off, her body language might. And trust me, her body rarely lies. Sign 3. Her body language betrays her. Married or not, the body has a way of exposing what the mind tries to conceal. If she's into you, her body will lean in when she talks to you, literally. This is often paired with subtle mirroring. You touch your face, she touches hers. You shift in your seat, and like clockwork, she adjusts too. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Watch her feet. Feet point toward what a person is truly focused on, and if hers are always angled in your direction, she's likely sending a signal, consciously or not. For example, during a work meeting, everyone else is tuned into the boss's PowerPoint presentation, but her feet, firmly aimed at you as if you're the real agenda. Bonus points if she's fidgeting with her hair or jewelry. These are telltale signs of nervous excitement. The humor lies in how much people think they're being discreet. She may think she's just being friendly, but her unconscious body movements are practically screaming, "Notice me." If her body's playing backup singer to her words, her next move is center stage, the "let me reveal more than I should" routine. Sign 4. She shares personal details that go too deep. When a woman begins to confide in you beyond casual chit-chat, it's a neon sign of emotional investment. Married women who are drawn to someone else often open up about personal frustrations or vulnerabilities as a way to build intimacy. And no, intimacy doesn't always mean physical. It starts with emotional hooks. Picture this. She starts venting about how her husband doesn't really listen anymore or how she feels invisible at home. She'll justify these admissions as small talk, but the subtext is clear. She's letting you see a side of her she keeps guarded elsewhere. This works because sharing secrets or personal pain creates a sense of exclusivity. Psychologically, it's called self-disclosure, and it's one of the fastest ways to deepen a bond. She's laying down emotional breadcrumbs, and if you pick them up, congratulations. You've been invited into her mental inner circle. And if she's starting to open that door, her actions next will make it clear she's not just testing the waters, she's diving in. Sign 5. She gets jealous of other women around you. Here's a sign that's as subtle as a bull in a china shop. She becomes visibly uncomfortable when you interact with other women. Even if she's married, her body language or sudden shift in mood will betray her. Maybe she interrupts your conversation with another woman by needing to ask you a question. Or she drops a sly, backhanded compliment about the other woman like, "Oh, she seems nice." Very bubbly, huh? The psychology behind jealousy here is simple. She sees other women as competition, whether she admits it to herself or not. A woman who feels nothing for you wouldn't care if you were chatting up the entire cheerleading squad. But if she's into you, she'll stake her claim in subtle or not-so-subtle ways. Imagine you're talking to a female coworker, and out of nowhere she swoops in with, "Hey, don't forget we have that thing later." What thing? There's no thing. But there is a territorial warning shot. It's her way of reminding you and the other woman that you're already spoken for, even if unofficially. If her reactions to competition are this obvious, wait until you notice how she positions herself in your life. And I mean literally. Sign 6. She's always finding ways to touch you. Physical touch is one of the clearest signs of attraction. And no, I'm not talking about accidental brushes in crowded hallways. If she's into you, she'll find excuses to touch you. Playful nudges, innocent hand taps, or adjusting something on your shirt. Married or not, these gestures are her way of bridging the gap between casual interaction and deeper connection. Take this scenario. You're at a casual dinner, and she reaches across the table to swipe an invisible crumb off your sleeve. Sure, the crumb probably doesn't exist, but the touch, that's very real. Or maybe she laughs at your joke and playfully swats your arm, lingering just a second too long. Why does this matter? Psychologically, touch releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This builds trust and connection, making her feel closer to you. The key detail here is her initiative. If she's initiating touch, especially in non-intimate settings, it's her way of crossing boundaries while maintaining plausible deniability. But if her hands are making moves, her words might be doing something even more intriguing, testing your reaction to boundary-pushing topics. Sign 7. She tests your reaction to provocative topics. A married woman who's into you might not be ready to act on her feelings, but she'll start testing the waters by bringing up conversations that toe the line. Maybe she makes jokes about infidelity, shares steamy details about her past relationships, or asks hypothetical questions like, "Do you think people in marriages can still find other people attractive?" This behavior is no accident. From a psychological perspective, this is a form of boundary testing. She wants to gauge your reaction. Are you uncomfortable, intrigued, or playing along? How you respond helps her decide if her feelings are one-sided or if there's mutual interest. Brewing. For example, you're having a normal chat and she suddenly says, "If I weren't married, I think I'd be terrible at dating apps. What about you? Ever tried them?" On the surface, it's a random question. But underneath, it's a strategic probe to see if you're open to the idea of her being available. If she's testing your boundaries with words, her next move will show how far she's willing to push those boundaries in action. Sign 8. She puts extra effort into her appearance around you. If a married woman starts showing up looking particularly polished, more than usual when she knows she'll see you, that's a flashing neon sign she's trying to catch your attention. It's not just about looking good, it's about looking good for you. Here's how it plays out. You've known her for months, and she's always been casual at work, messy buns and minimal makeup. Suddenly, she starts coming in with perfectly styled hair, a hint of perfume and outfits that feel just a little more fitted. Coincidence? Not likely. This is rooted in evolutionary psychology. People instinctively enhance their physical appearance to attract those they're drawn to. It's subconscious mating behavior. She might not even realize she's doing it, but the extra effort is deliberate. Imagine you compliment her new hairstyle and she lights up like a Christmas tree. "Oh, this. Just trying something new," she says, but her tone practically screams, "Tell me more." It's not just the outfit or hair, it's the way she seeks your validation for it. When she starts putting on a show, it's only a matter of time before her attention shifts into full pursuit mode. Are you ready to recognize what that could mean for you? If you're finding this helpful, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe for more no BS insights. And hey, drop a comment if you've noticed any of these signs before. I'd love to hear your story.